Hi guys, this is part 2 of the adventures of Captain Underpants 25 half anniversary edition with all new Dogman comic. Here you go. Where was I? Right here. Never mind, not here. So here you go. Chapter 7, A Little Blackmail. Mr. Krabs sat in his chair, chuckled to himself for a long time. Finally, George got up the courage to speak. What are you doing? What are you going to do with that tape? He said. I thought you never asked, laughed Principal Krupp. I've thought long and hard about what to do with this tape, Mr. Krupp said. At first, I thought I'd send copies to your parents. The boys swallowed hard and sank deeply into their chairs. Then, I thought I might send a copy to them, to the school board. Mr. Krupp continued, I could get you both expelled for this. The boys swallowed hard and sank deeper into their chairs. Finally, I came to a decision, Mr. Krupp concluded. I think the football team would be very curious to find out just who was responsible for yesterday's fiasco. I think I'll send a copy to them. George and Harold leaped out of their chairs and fell to their knees. No, cried George. You can't do that. They'll kill us. Yeah, begged Harold. They'll kill us every day for the rest of our lives. Mr. Krupp laughed and laughed. Please, I have mercy. Please have mercy. The boys cried. We'll do anything. Anything? Asked Principal Krupp with delight. He reached into his desk, pulled out a list of demands, and tossed it out to the boys. If you don't want to be dead as long as you live, you follow these rules exactly. Yep, I think he's dead, not gonna lie. Wait, let me get this in there. George and Harold carefully looked over the list. This is the blackmail. George called it what you like. Principal Krupp snapped, but if you two don't follow that list exactly, this tape becomes the property of the Holtz knuckleheads. Chapter 8, Crime and Punishment. At 6 o'clock the next morning, George and Harold dragged themselves out of the bed, walked over to Mr. Krupp's house, and began washing the car. Then, while Harold scrubbed the tires, George roamed around the yard, pulling up all the weeds and crabgrass he could find. Afterward, they cleaned the gutters and washed all the windows on Mr. Krupp's house. At school, George and Harold sat up straight, listened carefully, and spoke only when spoken to. They didn't tell jokes, they didn't pull pranks, they didn't even smile. Their teachers kept pinching herself. I just know this is a dream, she said. At lunch, the two boys vacuumed Mr. Krupp's office, shined his shoes, and polished his desktop. At recess, they clipped his fingernails and ironed his tie. Each spare moment in the boys' daily schedule was spent catering to Mr. Krupp's every whim. After school, George and Harold mowed Mr. Krupp's lawn, tended his garden and began painting the front of his house. At sunset, Mr. Crumb came outside and handed each boy a stack of books. "Gentlemen," he said, "I've asked your teachers to give you both extra homework. Now go home, study hard, and I'll see you back here at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. We got a busy day ahead of us." "Thank you, sir," moaned the two boys. George and Harold walked home dead tired. "Man, this was the worst day of my entire life," said George. "Don't worry," said Harold. "We only have to do this for 8 more years. Then we can move away to some far-off land where they'll never find us. Maybe Antarctica." "I've got a better idea," said George. He took a piece of paper out of his pocket and handed it to Harold. It was an old magazine ad for the 3D hypno ring. "How's this going to help us?" asked Harold. "All we gotta do is hypnotize Mr. Crump," said George, "and we'll make him give us the video and forget this whole mess ever happened." "That's a great idea," said Harold. "And the best part is we only have to wait 4 to 6 weeks for the deliver." Chapter 9. 4 to 6 weeks later. After 4 to 6 weeks After 4 to 6 weeks of back-breaking labor, grueling homework assignments, and humiliating good behavior at school, a package arrived in George's mailbox from the Little Wise Guy Novelty Company. It was the 3D hypno ring. Wait, did I show you the last picture, I think? Yeah, I did. "Hello," cried George. "It's everything I ever hoped for." Let me see," said Harold. "Don't look directly at it," warned George. "You don't want to get hypnotized, do you?" "Do you really think it will work?" asked Harold. "Do you really think we can amaze our friends, control our enemies, and rule the world just like the ad says?" "It better work," said George, "or else we just wasted 4 whole bucks." Chapter 10. The 3D hypno ring. The next morning, George and Harold didn't arrive early at Mr. Crump's house to wash his car and brushing his roof. In fact, they were a little late getting to school. When they finally showed up, Mr. Crump was standing at the front door waiting for them, and boy, was he mad. Mr. Crump escorted the boys into his office and slammed the door. "All right, where were you two this morning?" he growled. "We wanted to come over to your house," said George, "but we were busy trying to figure out the secret of this ring." "What ring?" snapped Mr. Crump. George held up his hand and showed the ring to Principal Crump. "It's got one of those weird patterns on it," said Harold. "If you stare at it long enough, a picture appears." "Well, hold it still," snarled Mr. Crump. "I can't see the darn thing." "I have to move it back and forth," said George, "or else it won't work." Mr. Crump's eyes followed the ring back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. "You have to stare deeper into the ring," said Harold. "Deeper, deeper, deeper, deeper." "You are getting very sleepy," said George. "Very sleepy." Mr. Crump's eyelids began to droop. "I'm so sleepy," he mumbled. After a few minutes, Mr. Crump's eyes were closed tight and he began to snore. "You are under our spell," said George. "Then I snapped my fingers. You are obeying our every command." "Snap!" slowly mumbled Mr. Crump. Did I show you the last picture? Oh my god. I don't think I showed you this. Just double make sure. All right, said George. Have you still got that videotape of me and Harold? Yes, mumbled Mr. Krupp. Well, hand it over, Bob. George instructed Mr. Krupp. Unlock a large file cabinet. Open the bottom drawer. He reached in and handed George the videotape. George stuffed it into his backpack. Harold took a different video out of his backpack and put it into the file cabinet. What's that video? Asked George. It's one of my little sister's old Bomber the Purple Dragon sing-along videos. Nice touch, said George. Chapter 11. Fun with Hypnosis. Wait, I'm not done. When Harold bent down to close the file cabinet, he took a quick look inside. Whoa, he cried. Look at all the stuff in here. The file cabinet was filled with everything Mr. Krupp had taken away from the boys over the years. There were slingshots, whoopee cushions, skateboards, fake doggy doo-doo. You named it, it was in there. Look at this, cried George. A big stack of Captain Underpants comics. He's got every issue, said Harold. For hours, the two boys sat on their floor, laughing and reading their comics. Finally, George looked up at the clock. Yikes, said, it's almost lunchtime. We better clean up this mess and get to class. The boys looked up at their principal. He had been standing up behind them. And Trace, oh my God, I forgot to show you this. Trace all morning. Gee, I almost forgot about Mr. Krupp, said Harold. What should we do with him? Do you want to have some fun? Asked George. Why not, said Harold. I haven't had any fun in the last 4 weeks to 6 weeks. Cool, said George. He walked up to Mr. Krupp and snapped his fingers. Snap! You are a chicken, he said. Suddenly, Mr. Krupp leaped into his desk and flamed his arms. Click, 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 click. He cried, kicking his papers off the desk behind him and pecking at his pen and his pencil set. George and Harold howled with laughter. Let me try, said Harold. You are a monkey. Okay. You gotta snap your fingers, said George. Oh yeah, said Harold. Snap! You are a monkey. Suddenly, Mr. Krupp sprang off his desk and began swinging from the fluorescent light fixtures. Ooh, 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 ooh. He shrieked, leaping from one side of the room to the other. George and Harold laughed so hard they almost cried. My turn, said George. Let's see. What should we turn him into next? I know, Harold said, holding up Captain Underpants comic. Let's turn him into Captain Underpants. Good idea, said George. Snap! You are now the greatest superhero of all time, the amazing Captain Underpants! Mr. Krupp tore down the red curtain from his office window and tied it around his neck. Then he took off his shoes, socks, shirt, pants, and his awful toes. Tra-la-la. Oh my. I forgot. Here. Tra-la-la, he sang. Mr. Krupp stood before them, looking quite trumpet. I don't know. With his cape blowing in the breeze of the open window, George and Harold were dumbfounded. You know, said George, he kind of looks like Captain Underpants. Yeah, Harold replied. After a short silence, the two boys looked at each other and burst into laughter. George and Harold had never laughed so hard in their lives. Tears ran down their faces as they rolled about the floor, shrinking and hitching. After a while, George pulled himself up from the floor for another look. Hey, George cried. Where'd he go? Chapter 12. Oh my God. Out of the window. George and Harold dashed out to the window and looked out there. Running across the parking lot was this pudgy old guy in his underwear with a red cape flung behind him. Tra-la-la! Mr. Krupp, come back! Mr. Krupp, come back! Shouted Harold. He won't answer to that, said George. He thinks he's Captain Underpants now. Oh no, said Harold. He's probably running off to fight crimes, said George. Oh no, said Harold. And we gotta stop him, said George. Oh no, cried Harold. No way, look, said George. He could get killed out there. Harold was unmoved. Or worse, said George. We could get into big trouble. You're right, said Harold. We gotta go after him. The two boys opened their bottom file cabinet at drawer and took out their slingshot and skateboards. Do you think we should bring anything else? Asked Harold. Yeah, said George. Let's bring the fake doggy doo-doo. Good thinking, said Harold. You just never know when fake doggy doo-doo is going to come in handy. Then the boys turned a corner, and there he was. Captain Underpants was standing in front of the bank, looking quite heroic. Mr. Krupp, cried Harold. Shh, said George. Don't call him that. Call him Captain Underpants. Oh, yes, said Harold. And don't forget to snap your fingers, said George. Right, said Harold. But before he got a chance, the bank door flew wide open, and out stepped two robbers. The robbers took one look at Captain Underpants and stopped dead tracks. Surrender, said Captain Underpants, or I will have to resort to wedgie power. Oh no, whispered George and Harold. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is bad for them. Nobody moved for about 10 seconds. Finally, the robbers looked at each other and burst out laughing. They dropped their loot and fell to the sidewalk, screaming and hissing. Almost immediately, the cops showed up and arrested the crooks. Let that be a lesson to you, cried Captain Underpants. Never underrate the power of underwear. The police chief, looking quite angry, marched over to Captain Underpants. And just who the heck are you supposed to be? The police chief demanded. Why, I am Captain Underpants, the world's greatest superhero, said Captain Underpants. I fight for true justice and all that is pre-shrunk and colony. Oh yeah, shouted the police. Cuff him, boys. One of the cops took out his handcuffs and grabbed Captain Underpants by the arm. Uh-oh, cried George. We gotta roll together to the boys. Wait, uh-oh, cried George. We gotta roll together. We gotta roll together. The two boys zoomed into the crowd, waving and out of the cops. And Harold skated up to Captain Underpants and knocked the superhero off his feet. George caught himself, and the boys skated away with Captain Underpants in their shoulders. Stop, cried the cops, but it was too late. George and Harold and Captain Underpants were gone. Can I show you to show this? No, I already showed it. Okay. No, I did not show you even this one. Here. Chapter 14, The Big Bang. After their quick escape, George and Harold and Captain Underpants stopped on a desert street corner to catch their breath. Okay, said George. Let dehypnotize him quick before something else ... happens. Kaboom! So, I think this is going to be the end. So, this is Captain Underpants. And, The Adventures of Captain Underpants 25 half anniversary edition with all new Dogman comic part 2. So, bye guys!